melts the road to gold.
New faces arrive with stories untold.
The air is thick, but the dreams are wide.
South African hearts crossing the tide.
Safe in liberty's embrace, where the stars and stripes find space. Sweat rolls down, but the hope runs deep. Alabama heat, Alabama heat. They carry talent in battered bags. No corruption here to plant new flags.
From the ashes of crime they rise.
With courage burning brighter than skies.
The past may haunt,
But the future sings. Freedom hums on broken wings. Safe in liberty's embrace, where the stars and stripes find space. Sweat rolls down, but the hope runs deep. Alabama heat,
Alabama heat.
Alabama
Humidity hugs like an old ghost.
But here they stand, a living toast to freedom's soil, to the promised land. With careless hands, they take a stand. Alabama heat. Alabama heat, Alabama
Hey, good evening, folks. I see that Conrad was paying attention to the program. Let's do a sound check. See that Conrad, well, that's loud. Let's turn that down just a little bit there. I got it cranked up listening to Alabama Heat. I turned it down a little bit there. I got it cranked up listening to Alabama Heat. That's too low. Turn it back up a little bit. Yeah, I see Conrad was the one paying attention. Yes, in fact, I just returned from Maryland where I linked up with the Stoltze family and their kids. We went out to dinner. Didn't expect to go to dinner. I was just going to go down and greet them and welcome them to the area. We're going to get together tomorrow afternoon after the Stormers game and hit some museums in central Pennsylvania. So I just came back from there literally, stopped the Veterans Club on the way back, make sure they hadn't burned the place down, and just got back from that trip. Said had a lovely dinner at a Mexican place in Frederick, Maryland with the family, and heard more about their experiences. You'll turn white as a ghost if you hear some of the things that happened to these poor people. Horrible things in South Africa. So yeah, welcome back to the program. So that's the reason for the late start. I mean, I would have started this program an hour and 15 minutes prior, but I was on the road driving back, getting back here late at night. So good to see you all again this evening. Mad Max, Dwayne van Staden, Sven Stadelbad, Alex is in Ohio. Metamorph, Utopi, welcome back to you. Charles Langenhoven, hello to you. Mad Max is back. And Garrett Gillich, hello to you. De Alte Kanabadu. Yep, and Conrad remembered I was gone. When the politicians lie, the colonel keeps the receipts. That's good. I like that. Good evening, Colonel. Good morning, mods. Hey, Louise Duplessis. How's it going? Tiki Keiser, what's up? Yep, Sven forgot about that. Time for some adults in the room conversation. Tune in to the Colonel's latest report. You got to write those down, Mad Max. Write those down for me and send them to me. Mowing lawn, getting the steamed crabs ready for the party. not quite, Heinrich. Chris, good morning to you. Mad Max. Who else? Yeah, Freya Dutoy, welcome to you. Rian Zay Martinez and 787 Dreamliners here. Arnold Neveling. Elna Pretorius, Katarina Notke, cutting through the manure, as the Colonel says. Some political message is just a total load of manure. Ronaldo, what's up? Casper Crow, welcome to you. CBB and Antoinette. Fred Baranga, welcome to you. Joe, Texas, what's going on? It's nearly 9 years later, and I still get nightmares from what happened to me. I'm not surprised, Joe. No one should have to suffer through that stuff, black, white, or brown. Yakta, okay, how do I get on the WhatsApp group? Well, that's a question that doesn't have an answer. There are about 35 billion WhatsApp groups. What WhatsApp group would you like to be on? Would you like to be in the WhatsApp group that's only for receiving messages, that is actually my group, not the ones I get blamed for by people that have their heads up the rectum? If you want to join that group, I can see if I can get you an invitation. So that group, I have one request to join, so let me take care of that. And let me see how many members we have in that group. So admissions... that group has, that's not what I want. Okay, we have 1,010 members, so we can add, was it 1,050? Is that right? Or 1,025? So that we can add 15 new members. So if you want to join that group, that's not what I want. I wanted to, come on, play nice. That's what I want, link. They've updated WhatsApp, and it's crap, utterly crap. The PC version now is terrible. It used to be perfect. Now it's all screwed up. It takes forever. It doesn't link things. So that's the first group. If you want to join that, 1,025 is the max number. You cannot communicate there. You can get messages, though, there that come from me and from my moderator, Hendo. That's it, though. So the second group, let me see how many people are in the second group. The second group has, we can get a lot more in there. We can get almost 100 in there. There's plenty of people in the second group. So invite via group link. This is the second one. This is the second group if you want to join. Okay. So remember, that group you can't chat. So people blaming me for all the crap they're reading in groups. It's not me. I have nothing to do with these. My groups, you're not allowed to chat. That was intentional by design because I knew that people would stir shit. And so I don't like shit stirring. So I made sure that you can't comment there. Same thing in the one on Telegram, which can handle as many people. It takes 250,000 members. We only have 2,904. So let me get some invites to that. So invite, admin man, okay. Invite via link, copy link. Okay, this is the Telegram, and I recommend the Telegram group. So there you go. If you want to join the Telegram group, that's there. Okay. So, all right, and you cannot comment in those. If that's the group you're talking about, I presume that's what you're talking about. But I don't allow conversations in those groups because people just run their mouths and cause all kinds of cock, and then they blame me for it. Yep. You're welcome, Yakta. Take your pick. You can only join one of those groups. Please don't join more than one. I mean, you can join a Telegram and a WhatsApp, but don't join both WhatsApp groups. It's identical information. There's no difference whatsoever between group 1 and group 2. 2 doesn't denote better or worse. It just denotes the second group. People ask me to keep making these groups. And then I did, and then people made other groups, and then people blame me for the content of it. And I had someone actually argue, called me names, and was very snippy and rude to me. I'm like, what's your problem? Well, you did this group. I mean, it's not my group. I don't even know what group you're talking about. Yeah, so these groups are mine, and you can't comment on them. That's intentional. They're there for information only. So they do promote my videos because Hendo promotes my videos. And initially I was uncomfortable with that. Finally, I just said, fine, let Hendo do it. So I tend not to put anything that's not refugee related in those groups, except the Telegram. I put everything in the Telegram group. But in the U.S. refugee groups, I don't put things that aren't refugee related. Hendo does, but it's all good. No one can complain there. Truth Other Politics, following the Colonel's lead. There you go. That's awesome, man. Thank you for that. These are great lines. Hope you're well. Good day to all the Wyatt Army members. Hey, Chaos Juggler. How you doing, young lady? Did you see the photo I sent you? Charles, probably not. I've just come back to the house after being gone for several hours. I don't know what you're talking about, so let me see. You sent me a photograph of someone else. You sent me a photograph of someone else. I'm not saying who it is unless you tell me I can say who it is. Hey, Willem, what's going on? Rudolph Skeppers, how's it going? Road Captain Kev is back. Carlos is back. Good to see. Oh, my goodness. I went to the restroom, and, isn't that embarrassing? Thankfully, I'm at home. I left my fly open. I just realized it. I do that occasionally. So worried about washing my hands, I leave my fly open. Yep. Good evening, Rudolph. And LD, what's up, man? Oh, a little dry mouth there. A little cotton mouth going on. So get some tea in me. I need to start making iced tea with rooibos. That makes some good iced tea, I think. Okay, well, Charles, I know I got the point of the photograph. Can I tell people about it? I mean, is it just our secret, or can I share it with people? I mean, come on, dude. I don't dox people without their permission. Mad Max has got something for us. New York's mayor made reference to our leader, President Madiba, and the Freedom Charter in his inauguration speech as a basis to answer questions who the city he now leads belongs to. What a moment of history and affirmation of the collective wisdom of our people whose blood, sweat, and tears was the ink which wrote the Freedom Charter. Actually, you lying SOB, a bunch of white South African Jews wrote the Freedom Charter. You didn't write it. Courtney, I already knew that, Courtney, but Courtney's now announcing everybody became engaged on New Year's Eve. Congratulations to Courtney, or condolences, depending on how people view marriage, but congratulations to Courtney McBride for his engagement. Fantastic news for him. Okay, so let's just play this. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula runs his mouth yet again after Mamdani, the Islamist-in-chief, falsely claims that New York is for everyone. He's already decided to apply racial taxation, which is unconstitutional, because he's an unavowed racist. Here you go.
In so doing, we will provide our own answer to that age-old question. Who does New York belong to? Well, my friends, we can look to Madiba and the South African Freedom Charter.
None of these morons have ever heard of Madiba. They don't know what Madiba is. They know Mandela.
New York belongs to all who live in it.
Not the white people.
Together, we will tell a new story of our city.
Excuse me, a new story.
Provide our own answer.
I'm sorry, a new story, a New Amsterdam founded by my ancestors. Screw you, buddy. Screw you. And the camel you rode on, or the horse you rode it on, or the frickin', buggy that you rode it on. Screw you. Rewrite the story of my city. My ancestors built that city in the 17th century, you turd. Frickin' scumbag. I know, it was written by South African communist Jews, not by the ANC. We wrote this. What a crock. Fikile Mbalula doesn't even know who wrote the Freedom Charter. My goodness. I've had Boss. I didn't like it, Antoinette. I've had it. It's kind of bland. Yep. I've had Boss. I've had their tea. Yep. Frickin' clown. Screw you. Typical. So I wrote, typical colonizer rewriting the city my family established in the 17th century. No thank you, Zoran the Moran. Footsec. By the way, the ANC did not write the Freedom Charter. Take a genuine history class, Fikile. There you go. It is a bit bland. Yes. Yep. Yeah, some people do believe that nonsense. Seamus Kitsoff. Huh? Seamus Kitsoff. Wow, in relation to our friend, Stephen? Hey, Seamus, how's it going? Stephen Kitsoff. Someone promised me an interview with him, but I've seen it go nowhere. Actually, I wrote to Stephen Kitsoff, if I have the correct number. Let me see. Maybe he wrote back. I mean, I get so many messages, it might have been buried. Let me see. It's not showing up here. I would have sworn I wrote to him. Anyway, try it this way. I would have sworn I sent him a message. What is this? It won't load. Oh my goodness. Pictures people send you, they're old. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Okay. All mouth and no insides, yep. That's pretty good, Blowcope. You got him to admit that if someone else is doing what Trump has done, he would approve of it. Of course. Of course. Of course he would, because it's the truth. People are grilling Fakele on this thing, and they should grill him. So Zoran the Moran. I know it's moron, but we're having fun with the word. Zoran the Moron. He's a leech and failure. If South Poland's all live in his free charge states, then surely all should have a say in decisions. Yep. Yep. Comments suggest you've misread public opinion, which is likely the reason the ANC's electoral failure. Did you just refer to a statement as a moment in history? Then you are delusional. Your party has long betrayed the promised vision for democracy we fought for. He will betray the people of New York City just as you betrayed South Africa. Your party's arrogance, betrayal, and corruption has brought our country to its knees. Stop seeking accolades you don't deserve. To the stupid and outdated slogans are more important than service delivery for the people, majority of whom are black South Africans. Yep. Wow, he's getting roasted here, man. Unfortunately, making references to Mandela will not rescue the ANC from the pity that it threw itself in. Yep. See how long he lasts as mayor. Who's that? Oh, Mom Domini, yeah. Hey, Rekadaya, welcome to you. Rohan, welcome back. Saw that about the Somalians, just crazy. They're corrupt and fraudsters. If they go out in the sea, they're pirates. Would think he knew that, considering that he studied in South Africa. The guy is as intelligent as a mud brick. What's the lamp? Okay, I sent it. You think who our lady is? Okay. Who sent that? Was it Road Kevin Captain? Okay. I have no idea who this is. It's not a 59er. They just published it a month ago.
So look out there. It's really humid today outside. The weather is just very humid. So as you know, we are getting ready for Thanksgiving. And
don't know who that is. Never heard of the person. No idea who that person is. Interesting glasses. Interesting. He's got this. The person has the same sort of avatar that Lily Fundeplas has. No, she's not a 59er. Not a 59er there, buddy. Definitely not. You're welcome, Ryan Taylor McGiggles. Okay, you're welcome. Hey, Sedgefield's back. Yeah, that's not a 59er. That's not a 59er. She could have been a 59er if she says a month ago, her first month. That means she's been here for 2 months. So if she said a month ago, it means she came in November. ANC's a bit of a bind as Iran is failing while their Navy's here. Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Well, maybe he followed Nancy Pelosi's advice. Just sign it. You can read later on. That's right. Yeah, you guys, democracy does work. You just keep voting for the virus, not the cure. Oh, she's nothing to do with refugees. Interview tips. What is this interview tips? You giving interview tips?
We can continue to talk for days, for ages, over and over and over about all these questions, possible interview questions, and then they may not ask you any one of those.
Sounds like a refugee. Mad Max gave a super chat. And African Farm Association have called the government to establish a dedicated task force to investigate farm attacks. This is funny. This is funny. It's funny. Will they respond now? Now people care? Oh, now that the attention is on black farmers being murdered. I've always reported black farmers, but no one cared. Now people suddenly care. I love this. This is hilarious. The hypocrisy of these people is unbelievable. Excuse me.
Family, friends, community members, and colleagues gathered to mourn the passing of Skakani, who was a well-loved member of the community. A group of unknown armed men entered his home last week, demanding money and his firearm. They later shot and killed him in front of his family, before fleeing the scene with his car and undisclosed amount of money. His family escaped unharmed. However, they say they live in fear as the perpetrators are still at large.
We are very worried about this thing because we don't know the cause or the purpose of killing him. If they want something because they took everything for him, but now our question is why they kill him.
Well, that's a question we've been asking for 35 years. Why they torture, rape, murder, electrocute, barbecue, stab, and murder white commercial farmers, Indians, and coloreds. And now you care? Now you care? Now you care. I'm not picking on that lady. I'm picking on SABC. Our banks must know who is channeling money. They make a killing. They do know Sedgefield. Have you heard the whispers ANC will not allow U.S. to do refugee interviews in South and soil? How are they going to stop it, Dion? The only way they can stop it is create an international diplomatic incident. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. There are refugee interviews taking place in South Africa for refugees from other countries trying to come to America. No, he wasn't killed on his farm, Chaos Juggler, and I never claimed he was. He was killed in his residential area. That was the house you saw there. There's also a YouTuber called Speed or something. Apparently he's touring South Africa, and everyone thinks that he's proof that President Trump and Elon Musk lied. Well, then they're pretty stupid, Rohan. They're pretty stupid. If you'd heard the things I heard tonight from a family, no, it's far worse than people are making it out to be. Far worse. What could be true? Quest Computer. Antony Nodia, welcome to you. Dion Lodigan, Colonel. Yeah, okay, I already read that. So, yeah, I need to download that video. So, and now people care. I've been reporting on all farm murders, black, white, brown, Indian, doesn't matter. I've been reporting on it for ages. But now other people suddenly care because a black farm leader has been gunned down in his home, not even on a farm. So now they're trying to look at the farms, but it has nothing to do with farms. It has to do with just murder. See, if this was a white guy who had a farm but was murdered in the suburbs of Pretoria, they'd say this is not a farm murder. It's just crime. So this is just crime. Just crime, right? Mm-hmm. Yep, it's just crime. That's all it is. New Year's Eve, they wanted her to resend her statement as to why she's seeking refugee status. Not sure why they're asking for a second time. Maybe it was incomplete. Maybe it was lost. I don't know. I have no idea either. Not a question I asked those guys. Yes, I know he lived in South Africa for 5 to 7. He was born in Uganda, lived in South Africa. His father was kicked out of UCT because he was a radical lunatic. Oh, you're answering Conrad's question. Okay, sorry, it was unclear, Quest Computer. Vesperland, what's going on? How you doing? No, the ANC doesn't care about pissing off the USA, but when the sanctions come, they'll care. It's going to get ugly for South Africa. Sooner rather than later. Sooner rather than later. Yeah, I don't know who that lady is. Yep, going to get ugly for South Africa. Well, for the ANC. Maybe not for South Africa, but for the ANC. Definitely going to get ugly. Yeah, okay. So how we doing, folks? 176 currently here for what was not an unscheduled stream. But thank you for being here. Appreciate it. 179, 95 likes. Let's start hitting that like button. It's nothing but a moment of your time. So, President Trump has warned Iran about attacking Iranian citizens. And now that doesn't want to work. There we go. He's warned them. The president's threat to intervene comes as Tehran hardliners promise a harsher crackdown if demonstrators spiral out of control. If Iran shoots and violently kills, he says shots, violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Wow. Trumpster is not playing around. He vows to intervene if Iran kills protesters, and he's serious. I worked for MTN over 7 years, got to see how Cyril caused the alliance between MTN and Iran and Afghanistan. By the way, you know, the U.S. may be holding back. I mean, I bet they have evidence of criminal activity between Cyril Ramaphosa and Iran. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised to see them indict Cyril Ramaphosa at some point. Yeah. Trump loves his regime change wars. Which regime has Trump ever changed? Name one. Name one, Roberto. Name one. Go ahead. You make a statement like that, back it up with facts. What regime has ever changed because of Trump? Not one. Not one. Not a single regime has changed because of Trump. Name one. You can't, because it hasn't happened. Yes, the USA is going to attack Iran at some point. We didn't change the regime in Syria. Nope, we didn't attack the regime. Nope. Attacked ISIL. Nope. Nice try. Fail. Big fail. Major fail. The people of Syria overthrew Assad, not us. We didn't attack Assad. Barack Obama threatened to attack Assad. He drew a line in the sand. No further. He's like Captain Jean-Luc Picard. No further. It stops here. And he just watched. He just watched the Syrians gas their people. Didn't do anything about it. Venezuela next. Well, Robert, are you senior von Rensburg? Are you Nostradamus? Iran next. Well, Iran's regime is going to change. The people are going to overthrow them. Venezuela, very good chance that people overthrow Venezuela. Yep. Maduro is a vile, repulsive, fascist pig and deserves to be overchanged. The mullahs in Iran are vile, fascist pigs who murder innocent people, especially women. They rape them in prison and then they murder them. I have no idea where Assad is, and I really don't care. Nope. Syria. Okay, so first off, I told you to state one. You gave me one that's factually incorrect. Then you made two predictions, neither of which has come true. So you're saying his love regime change, but there's no history of it. See, this is the funny thing when people play this silly game. Trump has brokered more peace than any president in history, than any king in history, than any empire in history. He has ended more wars than anybody. Barack Obama started more wars than George Bush. What form of the U.S. war against Iran take? Destruction of key government infrastructure so it can't function. Confiscation of Iranian oil tankers in the Persian Gulf. Destruction of Iranian port facilities. Yep. Anyway, so... Morning talking on YouTube about a positive. No. Nope. Yeah, I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure you heard that, but there's nothing to support that. Nothing to support it. It was a pilot project started over 2.5 months ago. And it's not public knowledge for people to know about. It doesn't really affect anything. Yeah, that is not a new program. It's not a new development. It's something happened 2.5 months ago. I don't know how someone thinks it's newsworthy. I'm not commenting on the person's video. I didn't watch it. It's enough for cons. All I'm telling you is that there is no new development that I'm aware of. Nobody in the U.S. government would have released details of a new program when everybody's on holiday. Nobody's working right now. There's nothing new. So I don't know what that's about, what it was, but no, nothing. I've got no evidence of that. No public release any statements. No information from the State Department. Nothing from USCIS. Nothing from PRM. Nothing from the White House. Nothing from the National Security Council. Not a peep. Not a word. So I can tell you there was a pilot project thing that was initiated back in November, which most of you don't know about. It's had virtually no impact on what you're doing. So I don't know. Yes, Chaos Juggler. That's why I started an hour and 15 minutes late, because I was with my guest and had to drive an hour back there down in Frederick, Maryland tonight. Have to run, drop my son at work. We'll see if he's still okay. All right, Renault. I don't think I'll be on late today. I got 2 rugby games in the morning. Thank you. Just in case I missed the end. All right, thank you very much, Renault. Yeah, Cindy, I don't know anything about that. All I know is that what I can tell you with the facts I have. I'm aware of a pilot thing that was initiated back in early November. It wasn't noteworthy or newsworthy. That's why I didn't report on it. And so it's had no impact on what's going on now. It may have accelerated things a little bit, but you wouldn't see that. That is innocuous to you. So I didn't report on it. Yeah, the Iranians are begging us to overthrow the government. Yep, they sure are. You're welcome, Quest Computer. Hey, look, I'm not talking down the other person's video, because the other person, maybe they know some magical thing the rest of us don't know. It's possible. We don't know everything, so I'm just saying that I've checked sources, I've checked locations, I've communicated with people, and I've found nothing. So Stormers game is at 11 my time, so 6 p.m. It's the Sharks and Lions from Kings Park first, then the Stormers. Let me see. I've got my lineups here real quick. I printed them out earlier. Did a bunch of legwork before I disappeared, and this is, oh my goodness, this is more refugee complaints and issues. 3 pages of a single email sending me their life story. I mean, there's only so much I can do here. The Sharks have got Fossey at fullback, Edwin Fundameva, and Makazola Pimpi on the wings. Jordan Hendrickson at the fly half. Grant Williams at scrum half. Good start there. All right, for the Lions, Kuhn Horn at fullback. Right wing, Kelly Mpeku. Left wing is Angelo Davids. Chris Smith is the fly half, and Mornay Funderberg is the scrum half. Stormers have Warwick Galant at fullback. On the right wing, it's Suleiman Hatzenberg. On the left wing, it's Leyland Zas. Sasha Feinberg Ungumzulu is the fly half, and Kobus Reinach at scrum half. For the Bulls, Ville Leroux is at fullback. Then we've got on the right wing Sebastian de Klerk, who's just been amazing this season despite a crappy team. And Stravino Jacobs, who's been average on the other side. Henri Pollard is the fly half, and Paul DeVette gets the nod at scrum half. Yep, so we'll see what happens. Every time the refugee program gains steam, there's another shutdown. That's not true. It's happened one time. How can you say every time? It's happened one time. One time. December was not a shutdown. December is a normal course of events. That's how it goes every year. That's why I told you in November it was going to happen, so people wouldn't panic. The only shutdown was in November, October, November. I just said what time the Stormers game is. Okay. Oh, I think I was answering your question. Willem says, go Bulls. Well, good luck. We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to go very well for the Bulls, but that's just me. So, Cockprot24 busy talking down the DA. I just said that, Sean. Seamus, excuse me. Seamus Kitsoff, I said that. I said that. 6 p.m. your time, 11 o'clock my time. So here's Cockprot24 trying to talk up the ANC. There we go. Who takes control of Western Cape in 2026? South Africa heads into another election season. Political parties are gearing up for battle. In the Western Cape, however, the real contest may be over who governs at all amid growing fears of fractured voter support, hung councils, and unstable coalitions. Yeah, the problem with that, my friends, is that's the entire country. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable. It's the entire country, not just Western Cape. How can you post your email for questions again if possible? I don't, Jason Erasmus. You should ask your questions here and don't send me emails. It's very time consuming. The emails are only for desperate situations. It's not, I don't have time to answer 100,000 emails, and I get a lot. If you got a question, ask it here. Yeah, it's always an epic game, North versus South in South Africa. Yep. Coalitions, local government contexts tend to stifle decision making. No. Coalition governments tend to slow things down. And that's why when all the South African pundits were talking about the future of South Africa's coalition governments, like, you're smoking ganja. Yeah. Yeah. They call me the ganja farmer. That's right, man. Big stinking helicopter flew through the air. Wie the man call it, them call it weedida. Them never the weed man. Yeah. Call me the ganja farmer. Yep. Yep, they call me the ganja farmer, man. Absolutely. This thing play or not? What a great song, man. Call me the ganja farmer. They're smoking their socks, man. Tain't gonna happen. No, Jason, ask your question here, please. Unless it's a very personal question, then you can send me an email. Yeah, but I'm getting inundated with emails. It's difficult, and people are getting frustrated. I'm answering because people are sending me, life stories. This is a 3-page email from somebody. I don't really, it doesn't. What do you need from me? Give me the facts. Yeah. So I got listing here, yada yada yada. And then they duplicate the stuff with documents, ID numbers. I don't know why you're telling me this. This is crazy. And then this one here. That one at least is to the point. It's in one page. Yeah. Anyway, it just never ends, folks. Did whoever go to the moon, man? Pikachu, what's up, my friend? Mandy von Ryan. Hello, hello, hello. What climate scientists say South Africans should fear in 2026? I think you should fear climate scientists. I'm just saying. They call me the ganja farmer, man. I love that song. That is one of the best songs ever, man. Ganja farmer. There it is right there. Marlon Asher. Biggest reggae one-drop hits of 2006. Climate scientists say 2025 made South Africa's climate risk harder to ignore, from water system failures to warming oceans and stressed cities. They warn that infrastructure breakdowns, pollution, and inequality are amplifying climate impacts, often more than droughts or single extreme events. Poverty and inequality is amplifying climate change. Okay? Why? Because people burn trash and cut down trees and lead to desertification? Could be. Dion Lodigan, welcome to you. Twinkle Toes, hello. Hermanus Johannes Elank, good to see you again. Are you going to ask your question, Jason, or are you sending me an email? I wasn't shutting you down. I was trying to get the question out here because this is the time to ask it. This is the Night Owls. Professor Anya Duplessis, Associate Professor at the University of South Africa. She's a research specialist in water resource management. She researches primary water challenges, focusing on water availability, use, and demand, as well as water quality and pollution sources and major water-related risk. By the way, as a high school student in 4-H, water resources is what I studied and did projects on. Just saying. It's a long time ago. News 24 asked her from a water perspective what the biggest warning sign for South Africa was. Before I even read it, South Africa only has 12% of its surface area that's arable for crop agriculture. 12%. South Africa has 63 million people living in a water-scarce region. Too many people. Population of South Africa should be more than 25 million. More than 25 million. That's it. That's too many. And they should be concentrated and clustered in the Western Cape and in the KZN regions. Nowhere else. So, this is what she says. South Africa has been experiencing increasing water issues caused by a mix of contributing factors, including increased climate variability, droughts and erratic rainfall, rising water demands from growing cities, neglected aging infrastructure, poor management, lack of investment, ongoing and escalating water pollution, degrading systems. She's correct, actually. And she's correct. That's actually right. But it's mostly poor usage, neglect. I mean, think about this. There are now 5 times as many people consuming water in Cape Town, greater metropolitan area, than there were a century ago. So you'd have to increase the amount of rainfall by 500% in order to, achieve the same amount of water that's needed. So people tend to neglect to pay attention. Also, 30 to 45% of the water that comes from reservoirs is lost in leaky pipes before it ever gets anywhere. Then you have the tragedy of the commons in the Cape Flats where people have a spigot, a community spigot, they leave it running for 24 hours a day while people fill water buckets to make a few bucks to clean cars. Mismanagement, misuse. It's like food. No one on this planet should be hungry. Not a single person on the planet should be hungry. There's more than enough food to feed every person on this planet nutritious food every single day. We have a maldistribution of food, an overabundance in places, and a lack of something. And so Sam Kinison had the best advice ever. Sam Kinison was talking about all the people starving in Ethiopia in the deserts, of hunger and drought. He's like, you live in a fucking desert. Move! Move! Simple as that. Got to ask, are some of those EFF followers still threatening with a kill date somewhere in January? Haven't heard an update on that. I know you mentioned possible questions that could be asking, possibly just missed it and could not find it. That's because it's in the groups where it's been shared, Jason. If you send me an email, I'll send it to you, Jason. All right, you can send me an email for that, okay? All right. Look, I take no. We don't promise you this means anything. Just I'm a former criminal investigator, and one of my moderators put the list together. I reviewed it, edited it, and we put it out, made it available to people. But we're not here to coach you. But Jason, if you're looking for that, you might be asked questions, you might not. Simple as that. Send me the email. I'll send it to you. Yeah, Israel could help you with water. They had to manage water. Good night, Willem. I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I wish you the best for the Bulls too, but I want the Stormers to win. Well, Cape Town doesn't have any real natural rivers. There's streams. There's not a single river in the area. There's streams at best. Yep. Deviation of municipal failures. Yep. Well, that's okay. That doesn't exacerbate climate change. What she's saying is things that okay. If she's trying to say that things are getting worse because of things, well, people that are dumb enough to live in floodplains are dumb enough to live in floodplains. That's why we have the Darwin Awards. It's simple. Evolution will weed those people out. Sarah Schumann wants to know if the Iranian government is falling. No, it's not falling. It's in trouble, but it's not falling. There's no indications the Iranian government is at risk of losing control at this moment. But the protest has spread to multiple cities now. President Trump has threatened to intervene and attack the Iranian government and protect the protesters. So it's certainly escalating. But it really doesn't mean anything. So Iran's ship is there. They would have no impact back in Iran. We're going to shoot at people on land. The protests are happening hundreds of miles away. That ship has no reach like that. It means nothing. If anything, it depends on how tight the control of the military is. You might see an Iranian Navy ship try to defect. Yeah. So, yep. Hey, LBR. Boom says, I expect the answer. I gotta love you. Well, I'm consistent. I'm a Stormers fan. Previous job, we tested eyes at the place called Name Shipyard. They made boats like that, but not for South Africa. Loretta, you didn't miss anything, my friend. We didn't start till 45 minutes ago. I was out with the Stoltz family. We went to dinner in Maryland, and then I had to drive back. So I was gone from 6 until 11. 5 hours I was gone. I'm going through something, Colonel. Crazy and government is involved. Any new news on when the people will be back to work the program? Yeah, as I've said all along, people will be back to work next week. Today's the 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th, the 5th. I mean, the 4th. The 5th, people will be back to work. Oh, it's after midnight now. Yeah, they'll be back to work on the 5th. And that's when I said there'll be no flights between the 15th of December and the 5th of January. I was off. Should have said the 17th December, the 4th of January. But there'll be flights coming up. Not on the 5th, but I would anticipate they come shortly after that. Okay? I'm not sure that helps you, Yazo Bear. Ron wants to sell the military equipment for cryptocurrency. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Rather than a single event, such as a single drought event, the systemic failure, infrastructure failure, and delivery breakdowns have been the basis for various localized water crises. Exactly. She's right. Well said. Is that, what's her name, Duplessis? Anya Duplessis. Well, there she is. She's not a sellout. She tells the truth. She tells the truth. Ganja farmer, man.
I'm a ganja planter. Call me the ganja farmer.
Call me the ganja farmer. I'm a ganja planter. I love that song, man. 2006. I played that a lot when I lived in Africa. Great song. Marlon Asher. One of the best ever. I don't even do drugs and I find the song hilarious. Our country is struggling with all these issues because 90% of the people that are using, they're wasting water and electricity are the ones. That's exactly right. If people don't pay for things, they have no dog in the fight. When you're handed money for free, you don't care about how it gets to you. When you throw your rubbish out the car, like that scumbag white guy who just dumped his rubbish on the streets of Cape Town and the tour guide came up and put it back in his car. Yeah, I had to go turn himself in because they had his plate number. Yeah, when people don't pay, they don't care. I mean, I'm angry about my rubbish removal. My rubbish removal has gone from $59 quarterly to more than almost double that now in just a few years. It's bullshit. Inflation hasn't been that high. Why am I paying double? Yep, because I'm paying for it. I pay attention. Good morning from a Sandef Sergeant Major. A Sandef Sergeant Major, Saramullah, welcome to you. Wow, a Sandef Sergeant Major. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you join us here. So things are tough in the Sandef. Underfunding, ill discipline, pervasive illness, especially HIV, readiness issues, funding. Yep, it's tough, especially for the Army. The South African Army has been neglected for years while they lavished the Air Force and the Navy with unnecessary weapon systems that have become millstones around their neck because they can't maintain them. 1 operational frigate, no operational Type 209 diesel submarines, 2 operational Gripens, but 1 qualified pilot, the instructor pilot. I don't even know if they're flying the Hawk lead-in fighter trainers anymore. They can even get them in the air. It's crazy. It's crazy. Meanwhile, the Army was neglected. The Army needed money for training, for deployments, for refit, for new prime movers, and for, frankly, new personnel carriers to be developed. All gone to shit. Paramount has folded up its tent. It's done. Denell is a joke. Arms Corps is a joke. South Africa is falling apart. I feel for soldiers in the Sandef. It's not real. And the Sandef has also taken a policy that basically they don't want whites, Indians, or colors in the military. I mean, you look at images of South African units, they're entirely black. Entirely black. It doesn't represent South Africa. Yes, you have over 400 generals. Yeah, you have more generals than the U.S. Army does. Yep, and we have 600,000 soldiers. I like that, Mad Max. I hope you're saving these, Max. Intelligence isn't just a career for Colonel Wyatt. It's a mission to expose the truth. I love this. Yeah, we're doing naval exercises. Well, they're not naval exercises. They're not going to be exercised in any true sense of the word. It's just for show. It's just for show. There's no interoperability between Russia, China, and South Africa. None. First off, China has its own ships, which are not interoperable with Russia, which builds its own ships. And the South Africans have German ships. Not interoperable. Yep. Yeah. Sergeant Major, what's going on? You jumped in there and you went quiet. Yep. They call me the Ganja Planta, man. Marlon Asher. I wish I could play that song. Yep, saw the new recruits. Not well. It's kind of like, Cyril Ramaphosa talked about Ubuntu, and unity on Geloftedag. While his fascist government, was raiding a diplomatic mission in Woodmead, acting as if they had discovered something. No, the U.S. government identified those people to you. You allow them to enter the country legally, the Kenyans and the Americans working there, because the Americans that they doxed and harassed and detained were mostly not based in South Africa. So they arrived there with a visa granted by the South African government, clearly disclosing what their purpose was, to process refugees. They granted them the visa. They granted the Kenyans a visa to enter the country. The Kenyans applied for an upgraded work permit. It was denied. They didn't appeal. They sent the response to the South African High Commission in Kenya. But the Kenyans are in South Africa. They know where they're at. The U.S. government told them where they're at. It was no surprise. And then they act like on Dag, the Day of Union of Ubuntu, that we're going to raid this thing, breaking Vienna Conventions, violating diplomatic norms, and going way beyond the pale. That's what the South African government did. Yeah. So Ubuntu, my ass Ubuntu. There's no Ubuntu. Did you see the celebration? One white face in the entire crowd, and Tani Pat, who's colored. That's it. Everybody else is black. Did you see the massively overweight, obese Zulu impis? I mean, it is the height of cheek. If the Zulu want to celebrate Rorke's Drift, or Isan Lawana more specifically, hey, brilliant victory. You showed the British. You wiped them out. If you want to celebrate as Tswana or Sutu, who fought with the Boers in the Anglo-Boer War, and your accomplishments, more power to you. If you want to be the San and the Strandlopers who defeated the Portuguese before the Dutch ever landed, well done. Brilliant. If you want to be the Mfengu and talk about how you wiped out Xhosa in league with Trekboers, well done. If you want to be the Basutu and talk about how you defended Tabumchu up in the mountains and held off the Trekboers in 3 wars, well done. But to be Zulu impis and act as if you won at Blood River and Kome, you got your ass handed to you. 454 Trekboers slaughtered 3 to 10,000 Zulu. Your ineffective moronic tactics didn't work. You sought an engagement. They sought an engagement. The two of you met and they wiped your ass. And so we have Reconciliation Day, Dag, on the 16th December 2025, with Zulu impis acting like they won. Acting like they won. What did they win? They never defeated the Trekboer. The only defeat of the Trekboer by the Zulu was the betrayal. Dingani murdered Pete Retief and his party. Then they sent the impis to murder the women and children and the elderly. But they defeated the impis at Wienen and Blaukrans. They never defeated the Trekboers, ever. And the Trekboers defeated the English the first time around. The only reason they lost the second time around is because nobody supported them other than the Germans, and they didn't do much to support them. And the war crimes the Brits committed in concentration camps and the scorched earth policy. Well, your co-workers are morons, Twinkle Toes. Yeah, their asses were handed to them. But they act on reconciliation as if they won. Did you see it? I watched the footage. Ramaphosa with the Zulu impis dancing, coming in. Psh, unbelievable. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. Hey, Sigi, what's up? Drug lords, trust me if you tell. I've been trying to expose them. No, LBR, it's truth. Everything I just said, and by the way, what did I do? I was balanced and objective. I just talked about the victories of Khoi and San over Portuguese. I talked about the victories of the Mfengu over the Xhosa. I talked about victories of the Basutu. I didn't talk about Sutu and the Griqua and the Tswana, who in league with the Trekboers defeated the Ndebele and sent them running across the Limpopo River into modern Zimbabwe, where they came in conflict later on with the Shona. Didn't even talk about that. You want to talk about pride? Those are things to be prideful of. You want to talk about the Zulu winning at Isandlwana? Brilliant. But to pretend they won it worked at Blood River, it's pathetic. It's sad. It's sad that you have to steal history and pervert it in that way. It's sad that Gate McKenzie says that we will no longer celebrate Dag. Why? It's your history. Both sides were itching for a battle. One side fought better than the other, and they won. But in the end, the Zulu won because most of the Trekboers left KZN and moved back into the Highveld, or up to Mpumalanga. Yeah, so northwest. It was all the Transvaal then. So, I mean, it's just pathetic to see these people try to pretend that they won. It's like calling Pretoria Tshwane. There was no permanent settlement there. The Trekboers founded Pretoria. Nelspruit, No permanent settlement all the way up to the early 19th century. It was the Trek Boers who founded Nelspruit as a transportation hub. Not the Zulu, not the Sutu, the Trek Boers, not the Swazi. Just think, with the facts you just stated, how can the world expect the Boers to live alongside after that event? Yep, it's not their choice how we celebrate the day. It's the day of the vow, and they can never kill it. Call it whatever they want. Then it's this BS they teach our children, that kind of history in school. Yeah, and that's the problem, not to be posthumous. Your own children will turn against you. Schools are indoctrination centers, whether it's in America, or it's in Europe, or Japan, or South Africa. School, or madrasas especially. Schools are indoctrination centers. Trust me, I know. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with justice and liberty for all. How do I know that by heart? I was indoctrinated every day at school. I pledge allegiance. How the hell can I, as a 5-year-old, pledge allegiance to the republic? I don't even know what that means. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's indoctrination. I was indoctrinated. Now, I don't have a problem with that pledge. It means something to me now, and it meant something to me when I reached my teen years, but it didn't mean anything to me in primary school. It's just like the fire drills. All right, class, run. Nobody run. Walk fast. Notice how objective I am. I just said American schools indoctrinate their kids. Did I not? Did I not just say that? I gave an example of it. Of course, the haters, the liars, the Lügners, the Ferrayas will come on here and run their mouths. Just like, when I reported on the death of a black farmer. Oh my gosh. They just ignore that. They also ignore the fact that the Stolze family's here. It has now been, almost a week since the Stolze family came on the program? When did they come on the program? Last Thursday? It has been a week, hasn't it? Let me see. It's been a week. Not one South African media outlet has reported that a family that has a European passport holder that has black children, that has a child with a learning disability, and is not desperately poor, came to America as refugees. Not one media outlet. They're all frauds, every one of them. Cockprot 24, the Toilet Paper Record, the Daily Shipbird, Briefly, every one of them are just fake media. SABC, not one of them has reported the truth. They all watch my content. You know they do, because they steal stuff from it all the time and never give attribution. Except the Daily Maverick. They give attribution. Briefly did once. They're all just liars. Ferrayas. Liars. Hitler may have taken concentration camp thing up another level, but he took his cue from the Brits. Yes. I believe the only reason that certain minorities aren't being fully and openly attacked now is because they know they will be and they will lose, otherwise they would have. Yeah. The press in South Africa and the haters on Facebook are saying the Stolze family are made up AI. Well, they're retards. I haven't seen the press say anything. What press? Tell me what press said anything about Stolze family. I'm going to search for it right now. I bet you don't find. If I find something, I'll be shocked. Nope. The only thing shows up is my video. It's the first thing shows up. Asked on WhatsApp group for feedback on Kool-Aid from Truth Report about this post. Well, I can't give you any feedback because that video doesn't exist. 2 people sent me a link. I clicked on it. The video has been removed. There is no video. I didn't see the video. Yeah, Conrad, what press are saying that? Not one media has reported on the truth. No, Blokup. I don't do that. That's dirty and underhanded. Ronaldo did that to Scott Bolson. He was dumb enough to fall for Scott Bolson. No, I don't do that to people. Yazo Bear says people lie, I'm colored and I'm approved. Well, actually, I interviewed a colored family here that was, they were off camera before. Yep. And I've got another colored family that's coming over soon that has promised, and they'll be here very soon, and they've promised to do an interview, and they'll do it on camera, which is going to be exciting. But they just continue to ignore the facts. They continue to ignore it, and they continue to shadow ban and oppress my channel. Why? What am I saying that's wrong? What am I saying that's incorrect? What am I saying that's evil or demented or unfair? Not a damn thing. My predictions are accurate. My analysis is spot on. My objectivity is spot on. My fairness to my guests is there. But the cowards won't come on. The cowards won't report the truth. Yep. Yeah, send your kids to university to learn what to think instead of how to think. DJ Yazo Bear, are you saying it's you? I don't know what you're saying there. Because you're over the target. Exactly, Rudolph. And they won't report on it. They won't report on it. Not a single. It's, by the way, it's Schlesian roots, the Stolze name. Yep. Yep. It comes from proud, noble, or brave. Yep. Yep. So, I mean, it's here we are over a week, and no South African media is reported on. Not one. No, it's great, Yaza Bear. We'll put you on. We'll help you expose the ANC. We'll help you expose News 24 and the Daily Maverick and Briefly and SABC and the Toilet Paper Record IO, all of which are just fake news. Yeah, the antidote to the spin. Thank you for that. Welcome to the stream. You are now tuned into the best geopolitical analysis on the net. Eyes forward, ears open. Mad Max, that's good. Yeah, there you go. I'll get some AI to do the voice of that. No, when you're safe in the U.S. No, of course, Yaza, we'll do it. I mean, I don't deny refugees. The only thing is we just need to coordinate for the interview. Yep. No, they can't handle the truth, Loretta. I mean, you know, people, they send their little minions and hateful, spiteful, racist trolls to attack me. And here we are still telling the truth. You know, it's just, it's sad. It's pathetic. But they get away with it. Because they're all in league. They're all in collusion. A genuine investigation of South African media is needed. On the rare occasions when South African media actually report things, I mean, look the editor of the Times Live, Peter Bruce, lied openly. I was supposed to meet him when I was in Stanford last time, and it just didn't work out time. It's a shame. I would like to have met in person. I'd still like to meet Peter Bruce in person. I don't have a beef against him, but his op-ed is a lie. He says the reason the United States has sent a stern warning, says there'll be severe consequences if officials aren't punished, is because they arrested Kenyans. That's a lie. I showed you the text. I show you the receipts. The U.S. Embassy, the U.S. government, took issue with our officials being harassed, detained, and one official's documents being doxed. Well, JSA, that's because I'm shadow banned. They don't put it up there. You have to bookmark my channel. You have to always remember at Colonel Chris Wyatt. Go there and you can find it. And then you just have to watch the videos. Look for the latest. Look for the lives. Okay. In fact, let's cover that right now so that people know what that looks like. YouTube channel. Excuse me. So you have to go to my channel. Okay. So let's do this here. Okay. So you have to pick on the channel here. I think this is the right window. There we go. So you've got videos, shorts, live, podcasts. Right now you can see I'm live. Got a little red spot down there that says live. Here's my most recent live stream down here. And here's another one. So that one has 8,000, 5,000 views, 12,000 views. All right. So then here's a refugee program. You see all the videos from there. Okay, then we have popular videos. That's my biggest performing videos. Then you have the South Africa list. Some of them are redundant. Then you have Indaba Conversation. These are strictly interviews. Okay. Okay. Then you have, was Matt DeBeer in there? I wonder if Matt DeBeer is there. Then you have just videos and past live streams. And then my shorts are down here and other channels that I recommend. Okay. So there you go. Yep. So what you have to do is click on one of these links, like you want to see the live. So you click on past lives, and then here they go. Here's the past lives. So the one I'm on now, my news report from today, the refugee interview 12 hours ago. and then that was before that. Then last night's Night Owls, then the interview with the refugees in Milwaukee, and the news report, New Year's Eve, USA, my radio program. Then you've got New Year's Eve South Africa, which had 8,000 views. And there you go. That's all the lives. Every live I do. Dr. Peter Hammond, the Stoltze family, 5 days ago. Yep. And there's Adriana in Kentucky. We got Lily. Yep. We did the Stammtisch. There you go. Joshua Mercevi there. Yep. And that's how you find it. That's how you find it. It's called shadow banning. It's been going on for ages. I've done all those things. I thought you were overreacting. You thought it was what? I was overreacting about talking about shadow banning? No, it's real. It's true. It's true. Is that what you're talking about, JSA? Experiencing at the moment. I owe you an apology. No, it happened. Look, I mean, Hendo was unsubscribed 4 times in one day 5 years ago as a moderator. He was still a moderator on my channel, but he's unsubscribed. How is that even possible? And earlier today, someone said they were unsubscribed 4 times today. Man. Only got love here and the truth. Thanks. You're welcome, Yazo Bear. Hey, listen, I'm a huge supporter and fan of South Africa's color community. And those that don't believe that just are delusional. I've gone to great lengths and efforts to try to help the Khoi and San community and also the colored community, but I get rebuffed by a lot of people. I met a fantastic colored guy who claimed to be a community leader in the Cape Flats up on Table Mountain 3 years ago. I contacted him. He said he'd do an interview. He just disappeared on me. They won't audit me because it's exactly what they wanted to. But if you look for the truth, you find it. But I'm glad I found your channel. I'm glad you found it too, folks. But you got to. Yes, see, I know, JSA. People think I'm overreacting. Look, look, guys, you have no idea. No idea. If I go to my email account from when they attacked my original channel, it is shocking. I still have the emails, and they came to my account, so they're not on some YouTube thing. So let me find the damn account here. Well, that's not it. It's not what I'm looking for. Give me a second here. I got to bring up. I'm just gonna. The number of messages I got when they started attacking my channel. It's unbelievable. So I got to get to my home, and then from my home, I almost deleted these videos recently. I said, you know what? Don't delete them. Or did I? Here, YouTube community guidelines. Okay. YouTube remove your content. YouTube remove your content. YouTube remove your content. YouTube remove your content. So this is the one that I love. So this message came on March 27th, 2023. My channel disappeared in April of 2021. Hi, Chris Wyatt. We've reviewed your appeal for the following channel, Chris Wyatt. After taking another look, we can confirm that your channel does not violate our community guidelines. Thanks for your patience while we review this appeal. Our goal is to make sure your content doesn't violate community guidelines so that YouTube can be a safe place for all. And my channel was gone for 23 months. 23 months. March. May 29th, 2021. This is after my appeal. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our medical misinformation policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube, making it up as it goes Dr. Fauci on herd immunity. We know this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. YouTube doesn't allow claims about COVID-19 vaccines that contradict expert consensus. I didn't contradict anything. I didn't do that. And these shitbirds on May 29th made a final decision a month afterwards saying I spread medical misinformation. All I did was show video of Dr. Fauci making claims. And he contradicted himself. You have no idea the crap I went through 5 years ago with these shitbirds. Unbelievable. I've got all these messages. They lied. They lied. We've removed your channel April 20th. We've reviewed your content and found severe or repeated violations of our community guidelines. Because of this, we've removed your channel. But I never violated their guidelines. Never violated their guidelines. And they took my channel away. And 23,000 subscribers and $2,500 a month in income back then. Allie got unsubscribed from my rugby channel. What's that all about? There's nothing controversial on my rugby channel. I didn't know you had to pay for your membership twice a month. Oh, the gun violation, yeah. I had a gun violation. There wasn't even a gun. Their AI said I had a gun. There was no gun. Unbelievable. Forgot about that. You are correct, Alan. They won't report on the Stoltz family because it just undermines their narrative. So you've got to tell people about the channel. You've got to tell people about the channel, other people, and tell them if they want real news, real analysis, this is where they need to come. Targeting the facts, engaging the issues. Yeah. I think you should turn it around, Max. It's targeting the issues, engaging the facts. I think that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. Hey, Max, DK, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah, intelligence grade analysis, Vanax. I found out about you from people who were in line at the interviews. Well, there you go, Yazoo Bear. But I mean, all things being equal, everyone should know. I mean, look, I'm not picking Ronaldo. Ronaldo's got 207,000 subscribers. I should have that. I'm not being envious of Ronaldo. I'm not damaging his channel. I'm just saying I should have that, but I don't. But I still plug along, and I'm grateful for everybody that's here. But I mean, look, you guys brought up the shadow banning thing, JSA. That's why I'm talking about it. It's true. It's not fake. It's not made up. They took my channel away, and I didn't violate it. By the way, the video that I talked about there, Dr. Fauci, didn't exist. That video didn't exist because in March of 2021, when I got a second strike for something I didn't do and I appealed it and they rejected, I immediately went and removed 43 videos, including that video that had cheeky titles that when I published it 5 months prior to the date that my channel went away, that video was published in late 2020. It was on YouTube for 5 months. And then they went for a video, they found one, I deleted it, but it still resides on their servers. I told them, I said, the video doesn't exist. They said, yes, it does. It's on our server. I said, but I removed it. Well, you loaded it on our server. I said, yes, but I didn't violate your community guidelines when I published it. And it still doesn't violate them. They said, well, your channel's gone. So I appealed it. They told me to go pound sand, and that was the May. April 20th, May 29th, they said, pound sand, foot sec. So 6 months later, I appealed it. Channel was still gone. 23 months later, I wrote in, after that scumbag CEO who died from cancer left the company, I said, I never violated your terms. I acted in good faith. You terminated my channel. I never violated community standards. The video didn't exist. Your rules changed, and in good faith, I removed the video, even though it didn't violate the standards under the new rules, and you deleted my channel. I respectfully request you restore my channel. 23 months later, after I said that, suddenly my channel is back. Well, that's why I don't do TikTok anymore. TikTok is a scumbag platform that censors, that they lie. I mean, I was getting every week, here's 300 more people, here's 1,000 more people that joined your channel. And the number of people in my channel was stuck at 12,300. Let's see what it is now. By the way, all these people say, oh, I watch your TikTok videos. You don't watch my TikTok videos. You watch videos of my content stolen by TikTok creators who have used my content to tell people about the refugee program, about the news in South Africa, and they've garnered millions of views. Tens of millions of views they've got on TikTok with my content. I get nothing for that. Maybe people find out who I am, but no, I don't even use TikTok anymore because it's just a scumbag application. I put one video on it recently, and I said I'll start putting my shorts on there, but I'm not putting much on it. Let me go to TikTok real quick.
So all the men from my previous post saying that...
Yeah, we don't care about you, lady. Okay, let me go to my profile. 13,200. 13,000. I have 13,200 followers. My most latest video has just 192 views. 192, the Wyatt Army. So 192 views. I have 500,000 view videos on here. That one has 192. That's why I don't even mess around TikTok. It's just a scumbag app. It's a scumbag app. Not worth my time.
Tightening up, it went the opposite direction. South Africa trailed by 4 at the end of the first quarter by 6.5. And now at the end of the third quarter, they trailed by 23, 52 to 29. The wheels came off the bus in that quarter.
This was the Netball World Cup.
Hey guys, here at the end of the third quarter of the England-Scotland game, gotta tell you, I empathize with the women accused for the abolition units. The toll are unbelievable.
Yeah, so I did a lot of coverage, nothing. I had 500,000 views on this channel, and then suddenly nothing because they don't like it. So I just don't bother with it. But lots of people discover me on TikTok because my content is stolen there. People make tons of money off me. Hey, Renee Cooney, what's on? When I wake up, first thing I do is listen to you. Thanks for keeping a spotlight. Well, I had a conversation with the Stoltz family tonight, and they said, everywhere you go, everybody knows who you are. I said, yeah, I know. I mean, I try to be humble about it, but it's true in South Africa. People know where I am all over the country. It's not a reflection of the number of viewers on my channel. It's not a reflection of the number of views on my channel. There's no way that I'm recognized everywhere I go all the time if only 20,000. Because last year that was the case. When I went to South Africa in April, I only had like 30 or 40,000 subscribers. And everywhere I went, I was recognized. You're on it for a week. It's a load of nonsense, Abby. Mentally insane. Okay, please. I'll see Colonel Wyatt's other videos on his other channel. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Mad Max. That's my other channel, Real Chris Wyatt. Thank you. Yeah, please subscribe to that. Let me take a look at Real Chris Wyatt. I did that video the other day, and on the Somalis in Minnesota, in Maine. Yep. Okay. That Real Chris Wyatt. Let me see. Okay, 22,100. I must have gained a few subscribers from you guys. I got 1,400 views on the Somalia linked fraud one. Yep. Yeah, I'm putting about one video a month on there because I'm not getting the love on it. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I got 161 views on a video, 500 views on another. Unbelievable. Yep. So anyway, whatever. You know, I mean, it's you guys ask about it. I'm not here to cry about YouTube. It's just the way it is. You have to learn to live with it. So I can say I've caught the algorithm a couple times and done really well. Do you see other channels, Fucci, on their channels when I checked? Yeah, no, they do it all the time. And they get tons of views. They get millions of views, tens of millions of views on TikTok, on Instagram, using my videos. Without my permission, they steal the content all the time. The good news is that must mean that it has some value. If people steal my content and they're not criticizing me, it must mean there's some value. Let's see if we can't get you the next YouTube milestone within next year. Well, the next milestone, Werner Kruger, is 1 million. I'm not going to get to 1 million subscribers. That's not going to happen. It'd be awesome, though. Wouldn't that be awesome? I promise you this. If I got to 1 million subscribers, I would spend more time traveling and more time in South Africa because I would be able to afford it. Because at a million subscribers, if the viewership was commensurate with the level of viewership I get now at 1 million, I would be making money hand over fist. And it'd be great. I'd have the money to do that. Well, the problem is that my videos are all this way, and they get all, so if I do shorts, I started putting those on there. Joe says small steps. Joe, I mean, I'm not going to live to be 150. It's been 6 years. Cyril Mullo says, do you ever sleep? Nope, never do, Sergeant Major. I believe you deserve it with the effort you put in. Thank you for that, Vanner. Support the channel that supports the truth. Wait till the sanctions hit, then you'll get subscribers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd definitely be true. But I don't want to see sanctions. I mean, I'm not pushing for them. Instagram is the only social that's still nice. Facebook, X, TikTok are all holes for garbage. Yeah, Instagram is, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I have an Instagram account, but I don't really tell people about it. I don't put much on there. People post TikTok in groups. I can't even access it via server. I have an Instagram account, but I never post. Yep. Okay. Execute a light strike on this video to help us beat the algorithm. A like strike. Okay. Gotcha. That's funny. A like strike. How are we doing on strike? We had 218 views on this one. So I've got 2 rugby games tomorrow on Rugby Ascendant, folks, at 8:30 my time. So 3:30 South Africa time. It's the Sharks hosting the Lions. And then 11 o'clock, 6 o'clock South Africa time, it's the Stormers hosting the Bulls. Rohan, I had a global audience, not South Africans. I had people who weren't South African in Nepal, in Finland, in the United Kingdom, in Germany, in Austria, in Italy, in New Zealand, in Australia, in Japan, in Korea, in Chile, in Canada, and that was all blown up. And so the Wyatt Army, I guess that's the handle. I haven't been on there in ages. Let me see. I put a video on there recently. Didn't do anything. The Wyatt Army. Let me see. Yeah, the why. Oh, Africa Matters. Try that. Africa Matters. Yep. I lost my other accounts. I can't even get back into them. I had 3 accounts. I had a Rugby Ascended account. I can't get into it. Somebody sent me a message here. Nope. Anyway. Yeah, Africa Matters. I have hundreds of videos. I put a lot of time and effort in because I initially didn't mess around with TikTok, but then what happened was I covered the Arizona elections and I just started blowing up. So I'm like, oh, people are going to pay attention. So I started making tons of videos. And then after about 2 months, they just started screwing me over. Yep. Okay. Trying to find one that's got the big audience here. It's going to go way back. Here you go. 136,000 views on this one.
Hang in there, South Africans. It's going to be a bumpy ride. That's right. Many of you are already well aware of this. But South Africa is now experiencing indefinite stage 6 load shedding. Eskom announced that this is all day, every day, until further notice. Well, for those you're not familiar with...
So that was 136,000 views. What else? Why is that one muted? They've muted my videos. Your contains unauthorized sounds. There's no unauthorized sounds. Unauthorized sounds. Ridiculous. The sound is music from their website, from the sounds you're allowed to put into it. So here's, this is small. Yeah, there you go. There's Santa right there. There's the snowman. You guys remember the snowman? It's not a news broadcast, Vanna, but there was some news mentioned. Yeah, that's a pretty good shot there. Yep. And this one's just gone. This is pretty good. I can't do that. I was walking on ice. It was crank. Oh, here we go. This is good stuff here. Yeah, Joe Biden loves it, girls. So this is one that was with. Check out this wig on me. Then I had this platinum blonde wig on. Those were fun days, man. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Oh my goodness. TikTok, it'll eat your brain away. But I did TikTok because there's a lot of younger viewers, and I'm trying to appeal to a wide audience. Yeah. Yeah, Twisted Sister. I got to get that wig out again and wear it, man. When we all get the US of A, we should all have bumper stickers saying Wyatt Army. Yeah, no, we do. They put YouTube channel on there. That's a good idea. Started watching Colonel Wyatt during COVID. He then had to move to Rumble. But I also got to subscribe somewhere in 2022. Yeah, Conrad, I did. I had Rumble, and I had Subscribestar, and I had Patreon. I had all of them. And I started using, remember I recorded and then I loaded up videos on a Telegram. That's how I did my news when I got strikes. When your live wouldn't open this morning after I clicked on it 4 times, somebody thought, only after I went to your channel it opened. That's crazy. Mad Max, if Tucker Carlson would interview me, yes. But he'll never come on my channel. Hey, thank you, Nats Bloom, for your membership. If you think you were persecuted for telling the truth, look at Dr. Tess Lauria Safa. Who speaks positive? What's that? That wig rocks. Yeah, the wig is awesome, Mel. I got to dig that wig out. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, I love that wig. It's time to put it back on, man. I got to dig that wig out. Maybe we'll wear that this weekend. Sorry to drive. USA for South Africa. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Okay. What else I missed here? What's the affordable membership and a small cross-border fee? Can't remember the amount. Under $1 rand. Well, Trump is going to visit all 50 states as part of our 250th celebration. Yep. We would do whatever we could for you as you've done for us. Only you and President Trump stood up for us. Thank you, Helena. Join late, so we'll go back to watching the news. Okay. All right. Colonel Wyatt on a podcast with Joe Rogan. Well, people ask me to go on Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan has to have me on there. That would be incredible. I would have, look, I mean, I've said my view on Joe Rogan. I don't find it particularly interesting in his podcast, but I mean, that's not a slight on him. It just means I don't find it interesting. And I didn't think it was very funny as the maintenance guy on News Radio. That's who I knew him. Never knew him for the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. I didn't even know he did that. I did know he did the Fear Factor, but I found it to be a gross, disgusting program, so I couldn't watch it. So I remember from News Radio and then a podcaster, very successful podcaster. And Mad Max, interesting to put this into Gemini AI, how to get the Colonel Wyatt. Okay. Did you try that? Free the Western Cape. There you go, Buster. That would be a great interview. I did try setting up, but eventually got nowhere with Joe Rogan. Yeah, you're not going to get with him. Or it was, we had a country that worked. Now we are going to have a much harder time than then. Yeah. Well, the other one I wanted to go on was the podcast of Lotus Eaters. Excuse me. Oh, I wanted to go on the podcast of Lotus Eaters, but that's just, man, it's almost 1 o'clock. I need to rock it off here. I need to go set up for the rugby in the morning. So I don't mean to be rude and take off. But yeah, it'd be great to go on those programs, guys. Really would be great to go on there. Yeah. Anyway, well, that reminds me, before I go away, I need to check and see if they got that. No response. So hopefully someone's... Shoot. Okay, Werner, thank you. It gives options to whom should be on and mails to send to those podcasts. Well, that's pretty cool, Mad Max. When there's enough of us in USA, we can maybe start to put pressure on the Southern government, maybe. I don't know. All right, guys, I need to stop because I need to set up the streams for Rugby and Senate, and then I get to bed so I can get up and cover Rugby and Senate. Please join me at Rugby and Senate, at least for the Stormers and Bulls game. Let's have a big audience there. The Kiwis get a lot of audience, and I don't find them at all interesting. Cover South African rugby. They don't have the enthusiasm I have. Well, if 197 of you email Joe Rogan, yeah, Tucker, yeah, no doubt. Well, I was supposed to be on, and that reminds me, Laura Logan. I haven't heard back from her, Laura Logan. No, she said she was going to have me on, and then she never did. And then that what's her name? The one Israeli, when she said she'd do a podcast, do an interview with me, and then she didn't do it. So I don't know what to say. Well, I'm not a pot smoker, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't go on his show. I'm not stupid. All right. Cheers, everybody. See you later. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. How are we doing on likes? We got 233. That's not too bad. All right. Here we go. Thanks, everybody. God bless. We'll see you at Rugby and Senate. All right. And then we'll have a live broadcast late tomorrow evening for South Africans with the Stoltz family. And we'll be doing filming at museums as well as at battle sites and things like that. Okay? Cool beans. Stay tuned. Interesting times this weekend. Cheers, everybody. And who knows, the wig might make another appearance.